Oh my goodness, it is hot as hell in this closet right now. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get some water in because it is warm, it is toasty in here. And it's because the temperature here in Florida has gone back up. So everybody who had their heat on for the couple of days of frigid air that we had are now having to go back and cool down their apartments again. I tell you all, I think it is so cool to have days that are just yapping days, because I love to yap. I love to talk. That is very clear if you go back through my page and you see all of the videos that I have done up until this point. But really, it's not the amount of videos that I have done. No, it's actually the length of the videos that shows you how much I like to talk. Because I can talk in one sitting, in a closet, by myself, for an extended period of time. Now, I am washing clothes, so that may be able to be picked up in the background. I hope it doesn't disrupt the video too much. I mean, again, I'm yapping, so what's really being disrupted, you know what I'm saying? Hello, how are you doing, my love? How are you feeling? How are you faring? Did you have a good day? Did you sleep well? If you're seeing this when you first wake up, if you just woke up, good morning. Ohayo gozaimasu. Buenos dias. Bonjour. 안녕하세요. I think that's all I got. Guten Morgen. Yeah, that's all I got. But I hope you're feeling all right. And if you're not feeling all right, sit with me and you can just listen to me yap, because I'm here with you in this moment. I'm doing nothing except talking. I don't have anywhere else that I need to be. 2 minutes and 34 seconds as I said that. I have nowhere else to be. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2, 3, 4 have been significant numbers for me over the past, I should say, couple of days. So I make a note of it when I see it. But yeah, I do these videos during this time. Specifically for me, the videos happen late at night or very early in the morning. So 1, 2, 3 a.m. because this is a time when the apartment is quiet, when the majority of the people in the apartment are sleeping or are winding down for sleep. So the energy in the apartment is pretty chill, it's pretty relaxed. I don't know if you've ever been like this. Anybody watching can kind of get where I'm coming from on this, but it's nice to stay up late because during that time, the rest of the world goes to sleep. And I read that somewhere a long time ago, and I was like, wow, I feel so understood, because that's precisely why I have thoroughly enjoyed being up this late at night. It's funny because growing up, I was actually, my school that I really, really loved shut down because the school was an incredibly small, private Christian school, and the school was funded by the church. And so when the church started running out of money and getting low on funds, the school had no money. So the school shut down and I had to leave. That's where all of my first best friends happened. And during, where was I going with this? Being a night owl. So during that time, my parents were looking at placing me into a different program, and so I was at another Christian school where a majority of my friends ended up transferring to. And then after that, when I graduated from that level, because it only went up to a certain level, I then went to public school. And I hated public school. And I primarily hated public school because everything moved so slowly. Like, I was the type of kid to where if I was not being given information consistently, if we're having to wait for other kids in the class to calm down before we can even start this stuff that to me was incredibly boring, I couldn't focus. So I actually went home one day and I created a whole PowerPoint situation, and I sat my parents down and I told them why being homeschooled was just better for me. And so my parents were like, okay, we'll homeschool you. And so I was homeschooled. And something that was really great was when we discovered, my mom, who is an educator, discovered at the time there was an article that said young people who were growing up actually do a lot of their work at night. A lot of them are night owls and they just process better. 5 minutes and 55 seconds as I say that. So if you are a night owl and you just be up late and you actually watch my videos right after I post them in between the hours of 1 and 3 a.m., hi, how are you? I love that. I love a late night viewer. I'm here for that. But I actually started, when my mom read that, she gave us the option to work, to work at a chosen period. So my siblings were like, oh, well, we'll do work if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. But I remember my siblings being like, oh, okay, well, we'll do our schoolwork in the day. And I was like, I want to start my schoolwork at like 7 p.m. And I want my school day to start at 7 p.m. And it was just super cool that my mom was like, okay, yeah, that works. Just as long as you're getting your work done, you know, and then the next day you're able to kind of report what you've done, because the way that the program was set up was that there were videos and there were guidebooks and stuff. So it was a pretty motivated type situation. So she didn't have to be up super late to teach me. And I got some of my best work done during that time, because I would work from like 7 p.m. all the way until like 1 or 2 a.m. And then I would take breaks in between the lessons. And then the next day I would sleep in until like noon or 1. And then I would pop. I was pretty young still, so I still had a lot of energy. So I'd pop up at like 12 or 1 and be like, this is amazing. So during the day, I actually didn't have, outside of my own siblings, I didn't have a lot of people to hang out with in the neighborhood, and neither did they for that matter, because most of the kids were in school during that time. So that was a really interesting time. But it was at that point that I discovered I am a night owl. I actually can adjust to any sleep schedule. This is weird information to share with you all, but maybe somebody feels this and they feel more connected to somebody else out there in the collective, if you will. But I realized I'm a night owl. I like to do things at night. I always felt like if I was going to stream video games, I would stream at night, and my audience would probably be on the other side of the world, maybe. You know, or people who are just, they're also night owls and they're looking for something to watch. But yeah, I don't mind getting up early, and if I do it consistently for a week, then my body starts waking me up super early. What's been really weird here recently is that at around, after I post these videos, so at like 3 a.m., I go to sleep, and then my body's waking me up at like 9. So is that? It's only like 6 hours of sleep, and I love sleep. Like I'm a napper. I'll nap in any 9 minutes and 9 seconds as I say that. So maybe somebody here is now, because the number 9 in numerology represents the completion of things, the ending of things, the transition into a new space. So maybe when it said 909, maybe somebody is realizing they need to transition into a space where they're more comfortable taking naps. And if so, I'm here for you, boo-boo. Like, let's go. Let's get these naps in. Fucking love a nap. Naps are amazing. Like, you just go in there and you get your little sleep mask. Forget about it. The power in a nap. It just re-energizes. I love naps. But yeah, that's And then, of course, as I got older and college and work required that I be up during the day, I was like, okay, sure. I know there are a lot of like graveyard shifts, but when you're having to go out and be out and work at night, it's very different than working at home at night. So yeah, not sure why I shared that, but there's a little tidbit of information for you. Today was an amazing day today for me. And by amazing, I mean I was grateful for every moment that I was in today. I actually had a moment I hope I remember. I hope the thought stays. I hope it chills out. We're vibing. Please don't leave. But I had an aside thought. My aside thought will come later. My original thought was I was able to finish Crime Scene Cleaner today, the video game that I've been playing. And for those of you that don't know, Crime Scene Cleaner is a video game where you play as a person who, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who gets really excited to play it, but you're a person who essentially cleans up crime scenes, and there's a story that's unfolding as you're cleaning up. You're called to clean up these crime scenes, and it's just really great. Like, the story's great. I actually really like the voice acting in the video game too. I like a lot of the graphics of the game. I like it really nice. The sound design is pretty cool. There were a couple of areas where the sound design was kind of like but overall I really liked it. And the music, like the music in the game, because you can change the music in the game, it's really cool. So if you're into like a simulator where you're cleaning, you're discovering secrets, and you're having to deal with, you know, dead bodies and things like that, like Crime Scene Cleaner is for you. And the prologue is pretty cheap on Steam right now. Again, I'm not sponsored by anybody. These are all just things that I really like, that I enjoy sharing with the community, and this collective in particular. So I on Steam, the prologue is what I played, and I actually watched, I think it was Pezzy. Was it Pezzy? Who was it? No, I watched Grizzy play it first, and then I watched Pezzy play it later. And I was like, wait, no, this looks like a lot of fun. So then I went and I played it. I'm telling you, if you're ever looking for new video games to play, find streamers and YouTubers that you enjoy on YouTube and watch them play the game, because that really is how I find video games that I want to play now that are newer. It's also how I find music. Like, I'll be in a stream, because I'm watching streams more now, and I'll be in a stream and they'll be playing a song and I'm like, Shazam. I have no shame. I'll be out in public with my phone up, because I'm like, listen, I'm actually just a little bit deaf in this ear because of a really bad ear infection I had as a kid. But so because of that, I need my Shazam. So no shame at all to Shazam a song. But it was a really, really good game. And there were actually a couple of things in the game, like when I play, for anybody who cares and who games, when I play video games, I am not one of those, I'm playing the whole game, and not looking up how to do something if I'm trying to 100% the game. So like for Crime Scene Cleaner, I wanted to 100% this game. And I would have, except I missed something in the first portion of the game, and when I realized I missed it, it was too late, and I was like, well, I'm not starting over. I might start over. I do not mind playing that on Twitch for people to see. I have no idea how I would do that, because I don't really have a setup that's good for that. Like, I have a PC, I have a screen, I have headphones, but I've tried to set up stuff so that I can game before. It might be one of those situations where I just prop up my camera and just record the screen as I'm playing. I don't know. I did it with a free game. I posted a couple of like playthrough little things for a cooking game on TikTok, and that's when I was like, ooh, tummy, calm down. Are we okay? Is everything fine? I think everything's good. I just finished a massive cup of hot chocolate, and so my stomach is like, I thought we were done eating. I was like, nah, bro. You saw the hot chocolate box up there. You knew you was trying to get in on it. But yeah, let's see. Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you though. If I ever fart in these videos, I'm not gonna try to hide it. It is what it is. Like, again, 15 minutes and 15 seconds as I say that. This is all about vulnerability, so I have nothing to be embarrassed about. Like, I'm not the type of person who, if that happens, I'm gonna be like, damn, who did it? I'm not a blamer. I'm not a blamer. Because the thing is that when you make it a habit of being honest, then when something happens and people look at you and you go, nah, it wasn't me, they're like, we trust you because you're always comfortable being like, yo, that was me. Sorry about that, y'all. Crack a window. Like, that that is my claim. My claim to fame in my household. If something happens or there's a sound and it sounds like a fart and my sister looks at me and I look at her and I'm like, you already know I would have told you if it was me. And she's like, word. She's like, I got you, I trust you. So I'm just letting you all know. That was a tummy grumble. After I had to have my gallbladder removed, because that was a surgery I had, my stomach does really weird things now. Like, it always made weird noises, like it always did that. But now, like, I'll get like weird like feelings of like air bubbles and stuff up top where I didn't have them before. It's very interesting. That's why I should be taking my Lactaid when I have dairy products, but I don't, because I be out here running from the law. But yeah, I really enjoyed the game. It was so great. Music, fun, I enjoyed it. So if you're interested in a game like that, the cleaning supplies that you have, this isn't really a spoiler because you can see it in like any of the trailers for the game if you're interested in playing it. You got like a scrub daddy that has it's got a confused face, and then you also have a mop, and then you have buckets, and then you have a power washer. Bro, I felt invincible using that power washer. The power washer, and then you have like cleaning detergents and stuff. Bro, if you like to clean, it's a good time. And if you don't like to clean in real life, I would say try it, because there's something about doing things on a computer that just makes it better than real life. But yeah, I was cackling. I thoroughly enjoyed it when Pezzy played it. I was just sitting there crying, and I was like, okay, I gotta play this shit. And I played it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's funny because now that I play, like now when I play video games, it's so similar to how I was when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, if I saw a video game and I was like, oh, I'm really interested in playing that, and I wanted to play it, I didn't care what other kids had to say. I didn't care if other kids were like, this was trash, this was ass. I'm like, ass or not, I want to play it. And I didn't actually have a lot of access to video games. Like, I had some. Like, we had some growing up. But, like, I did not play Halo until I became, like, an adult. Like, 3 years ago is when I played Halo for the first time. And it's because my cousins always played, and they were older than me, and they were my boy cousins. And they would play, and I would watch, and I would enjoy. Wow, I've been watching people play video games for a long time and enjoying it. Really happy memories. That makes me happy. But yeah, so I felt really successful because I 100%ed the last level of this game, and I took a picture and I put it on Instagram. I was so proud. I was like, man, them numbers, that perfect score, when it's like shoot, 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 and all the scores pop up, and you see that 100%. That shit makes me feel so good. I fucking love it. Now, if I'm like ever playing a video game for people to watch, like my siblings or my dad, because sometimes he likes to watch us play video games, I'm not trying to 100%. I'm trying to be as entertaining as possible, so we just run it right through. I was playing Mortal Kombat 11 for a while, and I took a break because the fights became really, really hard, and my sister is playing God of War right now, not the newest one, but the one before the newest one, and she was like, what did she say? She said, I'll turn down the difficulty level at bosses because I want to keep the story going. And I was like, yo, I feel this so fucking heavy. I have been friends with people who are like, yo, you're not a real gamer if the difficulty isn't up the devil's ass. If it's not that difficult, you're not a gamer. And I'm like, actually, I think the term gaming means that you play games in some capacity. And that's what I'm doing. Difficulty level be damned. That's what's happening. So I'm on that. I'm not here for... Like, and I respect it. That's why I like watching other people game. I like watching other people play video games I'm not likely to play. Dark Souls and the Bloodborne games, I adore those games. I love the lore. I love the animation. I love the sound design. I love, like, the lines, like the dialogue options. I'm a big fan of the music. It's just so dark and grungy looking, and the creatures are just so decrepit, and I love it so much. Away, away, cursed beast. Such good lines, such good characters. Such good characters. Such a good game. So, I don't play it, but I watch other people play it because I love it. Like, I watched so many people play Elden Ring, and I'm still watching people play Elden Ring, and I'm still watching people play Bloodborne and Dark Souls because those games are just huge. They're huge. So, yeah. I love it so much. But yeah, so I enjoyed that game and I would recommend it. I played Stray and I did a video on TikTok a long time ago about this, but I loved it. Stray, it's S-T-R-A-Y for anybody who's interested, and you play as a cat, and if that's not already a huge selling point, you end up having a little backpack with a little robot in it. Again, I'm not going to say anything that's going to spoil that for you, because if it had been spoiled for me, the ending of the game would not have had the impact it had on me. I cried. I cry at the end of most games because I'm like, I spent my whole time, the past however many hours, being this character, and now I'm not that character anymore, and so my heart does a little when I move on. I'm like, I wish there was more game. But yeah, so I enjoyed Stray so much. Again, the music, the sound design, like the language that's used in the game, it's so good. It's just so good. You owe it to yourself. If you've always wanted to play video games, now is the time. There are cheap video games on Steam. There are cheap games that you can play online. You can literally go and look up free games on Google. I used to play a lot of free games on Barbie.com, especially like with the My Scene dolls. I wasn't really a Bratz girl. I was a My Scene girl. I loved My Scene. Oh my gosh, I wanted to be them so bad. But yeah, like, you play video games. Play them. A lot of people, or not a lot of people, because I actually know a lot of nerds, but I've heard people say, well, video games are childish. Yeah, and you want to get connected to your inner child because your inner child actually has your best interest at heart and wants to help you live a more fulfilling life. So why would you stifle doing something that's specifically made for you to enjoy it? There's so many women who I have met who are like, I just don't get video games. I'm like, because you haven't given them a chance. There are video games for everybody out there. There are games that are mystery games. If you're like a true crimes documentary gal, there are games out there for you. If you like role playing and doing like regular normal tasks, there's a game out there for you. It's like back when they used to say there's an app for that. There's a game for that. There's so many types of games out there. It's wild. It's crazy. Crazy. It's crazy. But yes, what was the aside that I had? I said I would come back to that thought, and it's been so long, I know. So let's see. Let's see if I can remember what that thought was. What I experienced today. I got it. So I take my top off of this. I take my top off of the water bottle because I have yet to find a water bottle or a water container that exists that has a top that I like drinking out of. I do not like metal straws. I do not like plastic straws. Like reusable straws, can't stand them. I do not like them. There's just something in my mind, no matter how much I clean with soap and the little cylindrical scrubbers, like the pipe cleaners. It doesn't matter how clean I get plastic reusable straws. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I haven't tried metal yet, so maybe I'll try that. But I do not like the tops of water bottles. I have yet to find a water container that I actually enjoy drinking out of. So I actually take the tops off of them and I just drink it that way. I've yet to find a receptacle that I enjoy. But anyways, I experienced something today. And if you are watching this video still at this point at 25 minutes, then this is definitely for you. So, how do I want to deliver this? Let me feel it up. Let me feel it. Let me feel the space. Some of you out there right now, as you are watching this video, are moving into a transitionary period out from where you've been before. And first off, I'm so proud of you. Let's go transitions. Transitions means that you did something that worked, and now you're moving from that space into a new space where you're doing things that work better. As we level up, we never get rid of our challenges. We just develop new ones. We have better challenges. So instead of the challenge of consistently going back to your ex, now the challenge is being open and communicative in your relationship, as an example. But something that I experienced today that you may be experiencing or that you may experience soon, so buckle up, Spanky, and prepare yourself, is the feeling of grief and sadness that you will experience moving out of this old cycle, this old period that you've been spending your entire life in up until you watch this video, and moving into the new space. Because the thing is that is where your identity has been up until this point. Your identity has been solidly back there. But as of 2025, you are leaving all of that behind. By the time you see this, it may already be 2025. And if that's the case, hello. I would love to see you put 2025 in the comments. I like seeing the comments. I'm not gonna lie to you. You don't have to. For those of you who are new here and you're still watching, you never have to subscribe, you never have to like, you never have to comment. I selfishly like seeing those things because it lets me know that the videos are reaching people and that they are of some benefit. But even if nobody watched these, I think I'd still be doing them because I just really enjoy it. Also, I'm proud of you if you've been posting content and if you've been doing it and you're now kind of in the hang of it. I'm really proud of you because that's a big step to go from not posting anything, or if you've been posting stuff but this is the first time you started posting things that are authentic and true for you. I'm also very proud of you. You're doing it! I love it. I love it. So proud of you. Good job. But there is a sadness, right? But it's not funny at the end of the day, is it? Not funny, haha. Funny sadness. That you're moving out of this period into a new one. Your whole identity was wrapped up in who you were up until this point. You associated with all the pain, all the suffering, all of the complaining, all of the continual sadness, all of the feelings of weakness, the feelings of inadequacy, the fear, the jealousy, the pride. You know, you've gone from all of that and you're moving into a healthier state. And while those things we know do not bring us up to be our most amazing selves that we can be, those things don't help us manifest things that are wonderful and worthy of us. We still have an identity that's wrapped up in those things. And so you will experience a little bit of sadness as you are moving forward. It's okay. Sit in it. Sit in it. And when I say sit, I'm not saying wallow. Have you ever been swallowed? There's a difference. Wallowing is rolling around in it and really just kind of like, you know, think about a hippo in mud. Bro, hippos are terrifying. Them big bastards are scary as fuck. But I'm saying sit in it. Sit with the emotion. And from that place, think about the things about that place that you are grateful that you went through. You might be finding right now in your life that you are actually, oddly enough, grateful for bullshit that happened and fuck shit that happened to you or that you did, because you can see where that didn't help you. And now, even though you may have moments where you relapse, and that's okay, be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, because things don't happen overnight. Everything is a process, especially when it comes to your mental, emotional, and your spiritual health. All of that takes time. It takes practice. So don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. The way that your mind tries to beat you up when those things are happening, because I like to take the path that those negative thoughts do not belong to you. Those negative thoughts belong to the people who didn't want to see you win, and probably a larger number of people who saw a light in you and it scared them because they were met with unmet expectations in themselves. When they were a kid, their inner child had expectations for the life that they were living, and those expectations were crushed and they lie dormant until this person was triggered by you. When you were a kid and you were doing whatever you were doing, whether you were smiley and giggly, whether you talked a lot, whether you were quiet and you frowned all the time, or you just had resting bitch face as a 5-year-old. I think those kids are hilarious. To see a kid with resting bitch face, or they look like they need a cigarette. It's just funny to me. But you triggered something in those people. And so, in some cases it was hostile, and in other cases it wasn't. It was just a defense mechanism for their feelings of inadequacy. An idea that I've heard that is incredibly interesting is that I would talk to people who were friends of mine who kind of acted as my free therapists because, shit's expensive. And something that they would say is, well, you're better than this person. And I was like, no, that's not possible. I can't be better than anybody else. Like no, I'm just normal. I'm out here doing normal things that other people do. It's not even that deep. I'm not that great. And they were like, no. The reason I'm saying that, this is what they would be saying to me, is if a person believes you are better than them, then in their reality, you are better than them. There's nothing that you can do to stop them from believing that. Their thoughts are their private domain that you can't go in and just flip a switch and now they think differently. That's not how it works. So, it's not that I am better than anybody. It's just that I don't believe other people are necessarily better than me. I think people are different. And I know that there are people who might say, well, clearly, if you're not a runner, there's somebody who runs better than you. And I don't know. Just for me at this point in my life, it's not really about who's better or worse. It's not about who's more successful or not successful, because to me, everything sits kind of on the same plane. It's like my journey and the other person's journey are innately different. What we're wanting out of life is different. I could want kids and somebody else could want kids, and our vision of parenting and how we raise those children is a completely different situation. Or I could want a job that I feel fulfilled doing, and somebody else could want a job that they feel fulfilled doing, and we could be applying to the exact same jobs, but the reason why we go for certain jobs, the reasoning is incredibly different. We don't all want the exact same things for the exact same reason. So, those people, maybe unbeknownst to them, and it tends to be the people closest to us. It tends to be parents, it tends to be siblings, it tends to be cousins, aunts, uncles, even friends from elementary school or middle school or high school, a person that you talk to all the time, where they make comments that don't feel 100% great, but you can't really call them out on those comments because there is some level of what you would perceive as kindness in there. And that long rant that I just went on is where I believe those negative thoughts come from. They are placed on us. They are not us. Because I believe at everybody's core, they are energy. They are source personified in person. And source isn't it doesn't negatively speak against itself. It just is. It just exists. I love the idea that we our purpose here is not that we are supposed to do anything, really, but our purpose is that we are to exist as the trees and the flowers and as the animals exist, just a part of an ecosystem, seeking to be in harmony and in balance. And I know that that sounds like some hippie bullshit, but hey, I'm here for it. I enjoy the peace that it brings me, to not feel like there are things that I absolutely just like, oh my gosh, if I don't do this thing, I've failed at life. I feel like more and more people are falling out of love with the idea of, you know, you gotta be successful. But do I feel good? Or am I sick all the time? Or am I pissed all the time? Or am I irritated all the time? And if you want to be those things, that's a whole different conversation. You are more than welcome to be those things. But yeah, so as you are separating from all of that stuff and you're moving into this new season of your life, I'm so proud of you. Yes, I finally learned how to do this. I'm so proud of you. But you're gonna have a little bit of time where you should just sit in that emotion and just feel it, and then think about all the stuff that went well for it. Like, it's crazy to know how upset I was about certain things. There was a guy I really liked in like my freshman year of college. Like, I really liked this guy and we hung out all the time. At least I felt like we hung out all the time. My memory's not that great, but I was placed in the zone of a person who's fun to flirt with and mess around with, but not the person who the guy wanted to commit to, because I was a bit weird. Like, it's crazy because I've heard girls talk about, like, I was the weird kid, and then when they talk about stuff that they did, it wasn't necessarily weird, it was just like shock humor type stuff. But like, the true weirdos, most likely the people watching this video, understand that no, when you're the weird kid, you're looked at as though you're the weird kid. Being weird, me coming up through school, was not like a popular thing to be. That wasn't something that everybody was. If you were weird, you were an outcast. You were the person who everybody assumed would be Naruto running down the hallway. But there was this guy, and I thought he was the bee's knees, and I really liked him, and I really wanted him to be the person that I dated for an extended period of time and then eventually locked it in with, because I've always been, at my core, a lover girl. I've always wanted to lock it in with somebody and do the whole birds that mate for life and they feed each other seeds. And then they celebrate and sing songs together before they mate. I don't know if I would want to do that. I've always been because I sing, so I've always been of the mentality that I don't really want to be with a person who also sings. I want to be with a person who likes to sing, but they sing badly, because then that's fun. Because who I used to be as a singer, I was very like, this is the right way to sing. And that's obnoxious as hell. And I just knew most other singers that I knew were also that obnoxious. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to be with a singer as a singer, like, as a recovering vocalist. I don't know if I want that in my life. What was I talking about? I wish I could just hold my hand out and my thought would return like Mjolnir, like Thor's hammer. Just be like, boom, got it. Like, I wish that's how it worked. But oh no, yeah, I had this guy and I liked him so much, and then I made the cardinal sin of confessing my feelings to him. I had moved and I was like, but I need him to know how I feel, because you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And so I called him, or no, I text messaged him, because I have always been the type of person who's like, I would much rather do something over text and give the other person the space to respond safely and take the time they want to either respond to it or not to respond to it. So I usually will not call somebody and drop something on them. Now, if I had been living there, I would have gone to him in person and talked it out. I would have been like, hey, I've got something a little heavy. Like, this is what it pertains to. Do you mind if we talk about it? But I confessed my feelings for him, and I was like, you're just amazing. You're like this beautiful soul. And he was he was a cool guy. And he let me down super easy. He was so nice. He was like, "You're just an amazing friend. I'm not really feeling that way." And this was on my birthday. Again, cardinal sin. And then Valentine's Day came up soon after. And I bawled bitter tears. It was as if I had had my heart broken, like we had been in a relationship. And it's because at the time it was attachment. But I am a person who loves very hard, and I love very, and when I say hard, it's really not that hard. It's just, I love in an investment way. So if I'm dealing with somebody, I'm only dealing with that person. That's one of the reasons I hate the act of dating multiple people for me, because I don't have the energy, I don't have the attention, and I like to focus on one person and really get to know them. Like, I love the nights where we're staying up late, we're going on adventures together, or we're staying in together, we're learning about each other over time. It's my bread and butter. I've said it before in other videos, but I was so heartbroken, and now I look back on that time and I'm like, I'm so glad my heart was broken, because looking back at that relationship, he very clearly was still very much so into his ex at the time, and I didn't see that because I was just so focused on what I wanted. So for those of you out there who are interested in getting back together with somebody who is potentially making it very clear, I want you to write that stuff down in like a black and white, throw numbers in there if you need to, and look at it in a like realistic way. And when I say realistic, I mean look at how the person is acting. Are they vibing or are they not vibing? I feel like the idea of mixed signals is kind of dumb, because to me, if I like somebody, I'm making that shit known. Like, if I walk up to a person, and again, this is because I don't mind rejection. As a person who's been a performer, being critiqued and rejection is common. It's something you experience. So I do this. So if I go up to an attractive guy and I'm like, "Hey, I think you're very attractive. I'd like to give you my number." And he's like, "Ooh, no thanks. I have a girl." Or, "Ooh, no thanks. You're not my type." Or if he laughs and walks away, yeah, my feelings are going to be hurt. But, again, I'm very, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. I respect people who shoot their shot. A person who's like, "I think you're very attractive," and I'm like, "I appreciate that, but I know how you're living, and based on how you're living, we're not compatible, bro." Like, they're not that many things, but it's really funny to me how people will be like, "Well, I really like her," and it's like, yeah, but you enjoy being in the outdoors, you enjoy going out and doing things, and she hates being outside. In fact, I don't think she's seen the sun in like 5 years. And it's like, opposites do attract, but it's like, if you're the type of person who wants to do something and you really, really, really enjoy doing that thing, wouldn't you want to be with somebody who either doesn't mind doing that thing with you all the time, or somebody who's on that level, so that you're not spending all your time apart? I mean, I guess some people like being in relationships where they're not together all the time. That used to be me, but a lot of that was trauma-based. And then when I worked through it, I was like, I'm a lover girl. I like love, and I want to be right next to you if possible. I do actually like parallel play, though. So, like, I do enjoy, like, being in the same vicinity, but doing our own stuff, and we don't engage. Like, so one of my favorite things is hanging out with people who, like, will be talking, will be heavy in conversation, and then you can see it. Every single person hits that ceiling of engagement socially, and then we're all like on our phones, or somebody will be just sitting back like this, somebody will go for a walk or head out to the patio, and it's silence for like the next 30 minutes, and I'm like, I eat that shit up. I love it. Oh my gosh. It doesn't have to be silence, though. I know I'm all over the place right now, but I love being in groups of people to where sometimes I can just stop talking and I can just watch and I can listen and enjoy, but I don't have to keep talking. I love that shit. Oh my God. It's amazing. Absolutely love it. But, yeah, like, my heart was absolutely broken in that moment, but I'm so happy that it was, because I now know that that relationship was not what I wanted. Like, that person was not the person that the type of person I actually, at the end of the day, wanted to be with. And it's funny because if I had done any serious work to figure out the type of person I actually wanted to be with, I would have known that. But at the time, I was just like, I don't want to be alone. So I was as desperate as humanly possible to be in a relationship. Desperate times did indeed call for desperate measures. But yeah, so like that's where I was today. I was in I had a moment where I actually cried. I teared up. Like, what am I talking about? Teared up. I cried. And I was like, this is just crazy that for the first time in my life, like, there were times where, because of the fact that I was working and I had this 10-year plan, I knew exactly how I was going to get where I wanted to go. I had everything. I had everything planned out, all the way to dates in the year that something should happen. But the future that I saw for myself was always not really reachable. And what I saw for myself was actually being happy at the time. I know that's kind of heavy, but I saw myself as happy, but it was something that was kind of up here. I didn't really think that I was going to be happy. It was an idea that was far away from me. I don't know if I'm making any sense with this. But tonight, for the first time in my life, and it's funny because when I knew more, or when I thought I knew more, and when I thought I was in control, I actually was the least happy I had ever been. Now that I simply know what I am to do in the moment that I'm in, and then I simply know what to do when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what am I going to do today? And then I get that download or I get that information the night before. I'm only working in increments of like the next couple of days. All I can see are like the next 200 feet in front of me. I can't see anything else. And I am so happy and grateful because the results base what I'm wanting, that happiness and fulfillment, I see it. And I told my sister tonight, I see it as it's like seeing my shadow elongated and thrown out on the pavement. When I look down at my feet, I see that the shadow connects to my feet. And that's what I feel like now. I feel like even though I don't know exactly how everything is going to happen, I can see that future. And maybe it's because I'm like really happy now. Like, oh my gosh, I've been living in this place of being in love and, you know, imagining my life with my man. And I just wake up smiling and I'm like, good morning. Like, life is just so good when you are in love. I'm telling you, any of you creatives who can imagine things in detail, use that stuff for manifesting. Use it. Ooh. Might be. But yeah. Oh, did you hear that? That was my hip. She was singing the songs of her fucking people. She said, pop. Dang. That kind of hurt a little. I almost died. But yeah. So it's okay to be a little sad. Like I said, don't stay there too long. You definitely want to move into gratitude and be appreciative for all the things that have happened and that are happening, and celebrate your time of harvest because it is coming. And for some of you, it's already there, and you're seeing small harvests that are prepping you for the big one. So like for me, I know in my gut that the type of work, the play that I'll be doing is going to be similar to this. I don't know if it's gonna be this, but it's gonna be similar. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but I can feel that it's gonna be similar because I'm just being moved to do things that prep me to do this, that prep me to speak to people, that prep me to be in the public eye, so to speak. So I'm just really excited and I'm really happy. And to those of you in my videos who've commented on the fact that I look cool, I appreciate that. It definitely gives me a little boost to know that I look cool. I think I look cool too, I look in the camera as I'm like setting my wig into place, and my inner child every time goes, oh my god, we're so cool, we have all these tattoos. And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get more. And she's like, oh, you're amazing. And I'm like, you're amazing. And then we sit there and we cry together, because I cry when I'm happy. So yeah, that's what was going on today with me. Video game and mental processing. And for a lot of you in this comment section, it is a season of things are about to start happening. At the time that you see this, some of you who are seeing this and it's resonating with you, 50 minutes and 23 seconds as I say that. 23 is one of my lucky numbers. I've been seeing it everywhere recently. Confirmation after confirmation after confirmation. You are resting because some big things are going to start happening for you. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be an epiphany or a realization, it could be an idea, it could be a business idea, it could be anything. And if you're watching this, then whatever that is coming for you. And I think it's going to be based off of what you have been focusing on, 100%. Like, so try to keep your focus on the what ifs in the positive. So instead of being like, what if this doesn't work out, and what if I end up looking stupid, and what if I lose everything, instead think, what if this does work out? What if this is everything that I wanted and more? What if I do this thing and everything that I want falls into place after it? What if it all works out? What if it's more than I ever could have imagined? I like that. I like the what if in the other direction, because I'm old hat at snowballing in the anxiety department. Like, that's definitely something that I have experience doing. So it's nice to be on the other side of that. Bro, keep crushing those doubts beneath your heel. Keep curb stomping the fuck out of your doubts, and you're gonna find that you are getting better at it. I had a doubt. I was going to the bathroom, one of the most vulnerable times for me. And as I was sitting there taking care of business, I started to have negative thoughts of being like, this thing isn't gonna happen. You're crazy. You're off your rocker. You're a nut. And you're gonna look back in the next however many months, you're gonna look back and you're gonna feel so stupid. And I was like, no, I won't. To that thought, I was like, that's the dumbest thought that I could have right now, because I'm happier than I've ever been right now. So what I'm doing is in some way working, because I've never been this happy. So I'm this happy and things aren't going in a direction that to the outside person would make sense. It's like, you're happy though your bank account is about to cross into the negative because your company pulls out money from your account every month. You're somehow happy and you don't know how you're going to pay back your student loans. You're happy and you're single and you have no prospects. There's no man, like, actually evidence in sight. Like, you're happy, you're still living at home and you want to move out. You're still happy? Are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I am. And it's weird. After being in a place where I just did not want to be here. And this was for years. In fact, my tattoos, actually, I started getting tattoos because I had always wanted them. But then I found that I started to experience a lot of really heavy personal things. And every time I would experience something intense, I was like, I need to get a tattoo. And I would go to the tattoo shop and I would find the person who I went to last time and I would say, here's the idea that I have, and right now I'm really struggling. Like, is it okay if I just kind of talk through what's happening? Or in some cases, I would sit there silently and just experience the pain. And again, that's trigger warning, that's kind of heavy, but for me, I wanted to feel something other than gray. I wanted to feel something other than the depressive episode that I was in, or feeling like my life wasn't going to change and I was going nowhere super duper fast. And every tattoo that I got throughout the process of it healing, I did the same thing every time. I would look at those thoughts, and I would look at what they were doing for me, and I would look at how I felt, and I would sit in it, and I would begin to work through it. So every tattoo that I have represents a challenge that I had mentally. Quite a few of my tattoos represent me getting to a point where I didn't want to be here anymore, and then I was able to process through things, and I was able to pull it out. And I was able to keep it pushing. And so I love them. I love my tattoos. At this point, though, it's all creative. I want to get tattoos now because I solely like the way they look. And now we've got numbing cream out here. We've got numbing stuff, so I can numb the area. Like the tattoo artist can get the stuff and be like, hey, this is what you need to use. It's safe. And it can numb my shit so that I can... Bruh, you ain't said nothing but a word. I know some people are like, if you're gonna get a tattoo, you need to be able to deal with the pain. My thing is tattoos are body modification. And if I want to modify the way I look, I should be able to. That's just how I think, because I like playing video games where you can modify your character. Like, I don't go into a video game and have the choice to create a beautiful black woman and not take that option. I don't pick the default white guy with the oversized muscles and the impossible figure. I don't pick that guy. Why am I picking that guy? And his voice is lame. No, I want to pick the super cool, edgy character. I play a red guard. Every time I play Skyrim, I either play a dark elf or a red guard because I want to get their skin dark. I like it. I like it for me. It allows me to roleplay better because I can see my hands. So I need to be able to see something that resembles what's going on. So that's cool. I like that. But yeah, you guys are trucking. You're trucking along. Like, this particular portion of the collective is trucking along. You're doing a pretty good job. You're doing a really good job. Some of you are aware that you are you're following. Get it together. Some of you are falling back into unhealthy cycles. And for those of you that didn't realize it, take a deep breath. You're not a terrible person. Cycles are so called that because there's something that is comfortable that happens a lot. Not everybody is meant to break their cycle right now at this moment. Some of you are going to relive a cycle that you've been through, and I am so sorry to be the one to deliver this message because this is going to piss some of you off, but you are meant to go through that cycle again because you're trying to rush through it and you're not learning anything. It's kind of like what Jim Carrey said in, what was it Batman Forever? The old school, y'all remember those? Y'all remember the George Clooney Batman, the Val Kilmer Batman? Bro, when it was like super like Gotham looked really weird and kooky and very Tim Burton-esque. The Riddler, when Jim Carrey played the Riddler, he stopped the guy and he was like, don't kill Batman. And he was like, don't kill him. If you kill him, he won't learn nothing. And I love how he delivered that line. Jim Carrey is fine. Bro, there are so many fine comedians out here, and I'll be like, look at him, making people laugh. And people are like, really, that's your type? I'm like, hey, yo, my type is any person who can have my sides hurting. In more ways than one, get it? Oh. But, yeah, so some of you are redoing a cycle. You just realize that you're redoing a cycle, or you are about to be met with that cycle again, and you're not necessarily going to buckle under the pressure, okay, but it is going to be hard to step out of it because you've been doing this for a while now. But have patience with yourself and know it's not all bad. It's just that there is a particular lesson you need to learn before you move forward. Because here's the thing, for those of you who are repeating the cycle and you realized it maybe today that you were repeating a cycle. Here's the thing. I know you're tired of the lessons. Okay? Like, I know that you're tired. You don't want any more shadow work. You don't want any more lessons. It either needs to happen and be positive, or you're out of here and you don't want to do it. Here is the thing. For the things that you are asking for and the type of things that you are asking for, you are different. A lot of people in this comment section are looking to lock it in with good people, whether that be friends, relationship, coworkers, whatever have you. You're wanting to lock it in a really solid, harmonious way that is fulfilling to everybody. And in order for that to happen, you have to have a different mindset. And I know that it's stressful. I know that it's irritating. As a person who is I constantly feel like I'm doing work, this type of mental and spiritual work. I feel like it is a consistent state of being for me. But it does get easier. It does. At the beginning, it's hard. I think at some point, well, no, I'm actually going to talk about it. I moved to talk about it now, and we are at an hour. So congratulations for making it this far. If you've made it this far in the video, I would love to see some kind of emoji in the comments. You could put a clock down there to be like, hey, yo. Or put a megaphone down there and be like, hey, yo, you be yapping for so long. I got you, boo. If you're looking to have a video play in the background, that's what I'm here for. It's lovely. What was I gonna tell you? What was the information that I had for you? Come on, Spirit. Bring it back. I was saying that some of you are going through a cycle, so it's preparing you for the next step. I lost it. But you would not be able to receive the thing that you're wanting if you don't lock in to this thing that you need to know. An hour and 1 minute, as I'm saying that. What was it? I can't remember what it was. And my thought is, well, it must not have been that important, or maybe now is not the time to talk about it. Because that does happen. Where I'll be like, now might not be the time. This might be a lot of information for whoever needs it already. But I know that you're tired because I'm tired. I know that you're ready to throw in the towel and you're like, yo, this is exhausting. But it is going to be worth it. Because you're really trying to lock it into something solid. For the people who are currently living their life and they are just kind of living it however, they don't really care how they affect other people, it's easy to see them receiving money and them receiving things. There are a couple of influencers and people who are on YouTube right now who are like this, where it's like they do the shittiest things and they seem to get everything. They're not authentic. Everything is a cash grab. Everything is a money grab. All of their content is just ass because they would much rather there be some type of energy put towards their stuff than no energy at all. But the thing is that you are wanting something that is so much more valuable. It's so much more magical. You're wanting to feel fulfilled, or some of you are wanting peace. You want quiet, or you want fun. You want laughter in your household. You know, you want to be able to travel with the ones that you love. You want to be able to go see beautiful sights. Some of you want to do this alone. You want to travel alone and you want to have a good time. And that's not a bad thing. Because maybe you grew up in a situation where you were constantly having to make sacrifices to travel for other people and do things for other people and spend money on other people. And now you just want to be in a place where you're able to do those things for yourself. So what you're wanting is going to take a bit more. I've told friends of mine who are like, I'm just looking for a good man. Why is this taking so long? Why is it so hard? And I'm like, because the nature of the person you're looking for isn't the guy who's doing all the shit that you're seeing the most of. These people aren't rare, but they're not hanging out in a lot of the locations that you typically see people hanging out in. A lot of these people, from my experience, we are at home. They are at home. If you have been really locking into your spiritual and you're really trying to lock it in, you may find you've been at home a lot more, or you've been in like kind of your solitude hub where you've been trying to get it together. For those of you who are out there and you're, connecting with other people and you're already seeing movement, congrats on you. I'm so, yes, so proud of you. But for some of you, I know that this is an exhausting trip. It is. That's why this period of time it's a good time for you to get some rest in. before you get back up and before you do things. But it is important for you to get a little bit of your gains up so that you can handle the very thing that you were asking for. In a video prior to this, I talked about a situation where I was moved to go into an establishment and speak to a guy who I thought was really cute and who I've been thinking is really cute for a long time, and I was super nervous about it. I didn't want to do it. I started feeling really anxious about the interaction, and afterwards I looked at myself and my spirit and I said, what the fuck was that? Why did we do that? And they were like, because the type of man that you are manifesting, you are going to need to speak to. You're not going to be able to do the Aquarius thing where you look at them from a distance and be like, yeah, okay, so they can totally tell that I like them. Like, no, you're going to have to say something. You're going to have to walk up to them. And it's like, well, Tato the Penguin, how do you have anxiety when you just said you don't mind rejection? So I don't mind rejection usually. But now, if I'm dealing with somebody who I spiritually feel I could actually vibe with, there's a lot more on the line now. Before, it was just like if people were attracted, I would just go up to them. Or if I thought somebody was cool, I would just go up to them. But now my heart's involved. And I'm very like in this situation. So it is a little different. And it is a little embarrassing when you're talking to somebody because you were moved to, versus, you know, having like a solid reason of going up that you can justify in your head. And I walked up to this person and I talked to them and I was like, why do we do that? And they're like, this is training. You didn't fail. You're good. But we needed to show you that you're going to be meeting this man relatively soon. And when you do, you need to be yourself. He is the type of person that you want to vibe with. The person that you have created over the past however many years is not his type of person. So if you slip back into a people-pleasing space, if you slip back into not being authentic and speaking in a way that is not authentic to you, he is going to walk right past you and not recognize you as his person. So we did this little exercise for you so that you would be more ready. And that's the same situation that's going on with you, my love. If you're still watching this video at this point, then this is 100% for you, because ain't nobody be hanging around for an hour and however many long video without cause. But all of these things are preparing you for the big things that are happening, for the better problems that you're going to have, the better struggles. So hang in there. Rest if you need to, sleep if you need to, meditate when you can. There's actually a lot of time where I have spoken to people and I'm like, oh yeah, you can take a 30-minute. Like, you can take a 30-minute rest where you put your phone on, like, do not disturb on D&D, and you just sit there for 30 minutes and rest, and you'll be surprised what that will do for you. You don't even actually have to go to sleep. A lot of people don't realize an energy nap is real, and that's when you just kind of lie there and you just kind of exist. Like, for 30 minutes you rot, because I know some of you are really busy and you have like work that you're doing, so you're like, how the hell am I going to find that kind of time? We make time for the things that are important to us. And if the rest of your life is important to you, and if these changes are really important to you, you will make this time to rest and recoup and rejuvenate so that you can be ready to go again. Yeah, I think, again, we are clocking. These videos are getting longer and longer. I really hope I don't crest into 2 hours, because I can't imagine 2 hours worth of, I mean, I like to yap. I like to talk. I want to keep talking. That was such a real statement that I heard. I was watching the Clueless podcast that I be telling y'all about. And Busy goes, that they were like, all right, so we're prepping to wrap this episode up. And he was like, I want to keep talking. And I laughed so hard because I felt that. I was like, sometimes I'd be turning the videos off because my spiritual team is like, that's it, there's no more. But I'm like, but I wanted to keep talking. They're like, we know you like yapping. So that's gotta be a part of my job in some capacity, is yapping, because fucking love that shit. It's like a pastime for me. But anyways, I love you all so much, and I hope you have a good rest of your morning, evening, or night, wherever you're at. Be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, focus more on devotion, less on trying to do things perfect every single time in the exact same way. Focus more on the intention of the thing, on doing something every day that goes towards you feeling more fulfilled, or that goes towards your soul. If you miss a day of meditating, it's not the end of the world. If you miss a day of journaling, it's not the end of the world. But do something that connects you to that energy. So I love you guys, and I'll be back to yap at you tomorrow night. Mwah. You're amazing. You're great. You're beautiful. You're lovely. You're handsome. You're good looking. You're attractive. You're strong. You sexy. You making shit happen. Smile a little bit before you go to bed tonight. Smile a little bit to yourself. Smile to your inner child. Smile to just the energy that exists in you that flows through you. Smile to it. Let it know that you're happy that it's there and that you appreciate the journey that you're on. There's some big things in store for all of us. I'm excited. Okay, I love you. Bye.